So our next phase is dictionary. So dictionaries are like they are commonly used along with list as well, along with conditional statements, along with loops as well. So it's like a combination. They can be used with list as well. They can be used with loop as well. They can be used with conditional statement as well. So in the first phase we discuss about list, but now we will talk about dictionaries. So our topic is dictionaries with loops and conditional statement. So let's start. So we already discussed list over here. Okay, now dictionaries basically are very similar to dictionaries that actually exist in English. So you have heard about Oxford Dictionary. So same ideology is referred over here. In dictionaries, there are two things which you have to keep in mind. The very first thing is keys, which are words, and the second thing is value, which is meaning. So if you see any dictionary, so you will find two things. There's a word and there is a meaning of that word. So let's take an example. If I have to search for any meaning, so I have to search for the word first of all. And if I'm having any difficulty finding a meaning, so I will search the word, and according to that word, I will find its meaning. Same concept is followed in the dictionary in Python as well. You have a key which is similar to word, and then according to that key, you have a meaning which is value. So words are referred as keys, and the meanings are referred as values. There is one thing which you should keep in mind is a dictionary is a collection. So it can have multiple data types as well. And the collection is ordered, but it can be changeable and it do not allow duplicates, which means in dictionary, the keys, which mean the words are unique, which means on the left hand side of the dictionary, the words which you are using should be unique, which means in dictionary, if there is one word is designed or one word which is already being entered in the dictionary, you are not allowed to repeat that word. Yes, your meaning can be repeated, which means your values can be repeated, but your data cannot be repeated. So your meaning can be repeated, but your list or your key cannot be repeated. So I have done a very good example, like if you have heard about Pakistan Super League. So this is basically Pakistan Super League. In Pakistan Super League, there are a lot of teams, but I have considered only three things, three names, three teams. Okay. So first is Karachi Kings, second is Lahore Qalandar, third is Quetta Gladiators. So you can understand one thing that the name of the team cannot be repetitive. Why? Because in a tournament, there could be any one team which has a single name, right? But there is a possibility that the captain of two teams, their name could be same. Like if Karachi King captain is Babar, so there is a possibility that Kota Gladiator captain name can be Babar, although the first name are similar, but the last name could be different. So we are understanding that the words should be unique, but the meanings should not be unique. Meanings can be repetitive. So we'll define a dictionary the same as we have already defined. And then we will try to implement list and dictionaries together. So this is a very basic example. So let's start. We'll make another file over here. So this is left 5 dictionaries. Okay. So layer 5 dictionaries are very easy. We will start with a very best example about Indian Premier League, or it could be Pakistan Premier League. So I'm more aware about Pakistan Premier League. So I will discuss the same example. So let's take an example. I'm declaring a variable my PSL team or any other team. Let's start with a cricket team. Okay. So my cricket team, because PSL example is already done. So my cricket team. Okay. So let's make C small. Okay, so the very first thing, how to define a dictionary. So like list, you have to use square brackets. In dictionary, you have to use curly brackets. So the very first thing is keys. The second thing is values. Now let's take an example. My first team is basically Pakistan. So I will write Pakistan. And then you have to add a colon in between, and then you have to write the meaning of that word. So like if I'm referring Pakistan, so there might be something in my mind related to Pakistan. So in my case, if it's my cricket team, so I will write Pakistan and then I will write the name of the captain. So let's take an example. I will write the name of the captain, Babar Azam. Okay, and then I have to use comma and then next team. So let's take an example, Australia. Okay, and start. Okay, it's completely fine. You use first name or second name. Then we have India, and then we have Virat or Rohit, or you can say Sharma. And then we have, let's take an example, Bangladesh, and the captain of Bangladesh is, let's take an example, Babar. Now see one thing. Okay, Babar Azam. Let's assume that the names are same, but the persons are different. So here you notice one thing on the left hand side, the details which are mentioned, which we call it as keys, are unique, but the values can be repetitive. So you can see the captain of Pakistan, his name is also Babar Azam, and the captain of Bangladesh, his name is also Babar Azam. Okay, so which means that both, of course, both people are different, but their names could be same. Which means if you think whenever you're making a dictionary, if you think something is unique, you should keep it on left side. If you think something is not unique, you should keep it on right hand side. Let's take an example. In your school, you have roll numbers. So there might be a possibility that your name, that there might be another student with the same name. There is a possibility. But what is different? The different is your roll number, because your roll number cannot be his roll number and his roll number cannot be your roll number. So everything on the left should be unique. Everything on the right should be can be unique, or it can be they cannot be unique. So first I have defined the dictionary. I have pressed shift enter. Then how to use the dictionary. So let's take an example. I will write my cricket team, and then in the square bracket I will write Pakistan. So if I want to access Pakistan, so I will just write inside the square bracket Pakistan. So it will give me Babar Azam. Now let's take an example. Instead of Pakistan, I'm writing Australia. If the spelling is right, it will give you an answer. Else, it will give you an error. Australia start. Okay. Then if I write India, so it will give me Rohit Sharma. It's completely fine. What now? Let's take an example. What instead of accessing using the name, you have to access it using the meanings. Like you cannot access Babar Azam directly uh, by writing any other thing. You have to write the word first, which means keys first, and then you have to write the values. Now let's take an example. You are not aware about the keys. Let's take an example. I'm not sure whether what was the spelling of Pakistan, what was the spelling of Australia, India, and so you can do one more thing. You can write over here my cricket team dot keys. So it will give you all the keys that exist in your dictionary. So if your dictionary is 1,000 words, it's completely fine. It will give you all the keys. And if you want to find the meanings, all the meanings, so you can write my cricket team dot values. So you will see one thing very interesting. So see, the order remains the same. So the order is very fixed, Pakistan and then Babar Azam, Australia, Stark, India, Rohit Sharma, and then Bangladesh, Babar Azam. So see, the order remains the same, but if you want to individually if you want to access it, individually, then you can write dot keys. Okay. Now let's take an example. You want to write a statement. Okay. So what you can write, you can use loops with dictionary as well. So let's use loops. For is a very famous loop for I in. Now instead of writing range, you can write the name of the list. You can write the name of the dictionary as well. So you can write for I in the name of your dictionary. My cricket team dot keys. So here keys is not compulsory. If you will not write keys over here, still it will give you the same output, because the iteration is always done in the unique variable, which is word, which is keys, not in the meaning part. So for I in my cricket dot keys round brackets, you will write print, and then you will write, let's take an example, I, okay, I, or you can write my cricket team square bracket I, comma, then you can write is the captain of I. Now see the magic. So see, instead of my cricket team, I is being replaced with all the words. So words means keys, all the keys. Now according to keys, I already mentioned that using keys you can access the values as well. So I've implemented the same formula over here. Using keys, I have accessed the values. So I have written Babar Azam is the captain of Pakistan, Stark is the captain of Australia, Rohit Sharma, and so on. So this is how you can access, meanings or values using keys as well. So this is basically what I have done over here. And one thing more I forgot to mention, if you want to add a new team to a dictionary. So normally in dictionary, like it's the same protocol. If you have added a word in the dictionary, now you are not allowed to remove it. Same in real life. Like if there is a word in Oxford Dictionary, so you cannot remove it, but you can add more words. So if you want to add one more team, so you can write my cricket team, which is name of your dictionary, and then round bracket you can write another team. So let's take an example. If I write Sri Lanka, okay, Sri Lanka, and then I can write the captain of Sri Lanka, so Matthews. Okay, this is completely fine. So once I will press run, and then if you will print the dictionary again, so you will let's write my cricket team. Although we have to write it in print, but let's write it directly. So you can see there is one more addition, Sri Lanka Matthews, which means always add the thing which is unique on the left hand side and which you think can be repetitive, you have to add it on right side. So this is how you can add a new member to a dictionaries. Now, if we move forward, so we can do one thing more. Like we have already done keys, values, and then you can use loops as well. And if you want to add, so you can add it as well. Now, this is a very good example, and I really want you all to understand this example. So this is a very real-time example, and I've taken a lot of help from W3 schools as well. And this is the example I got from there. So suppose you had 5 new recruits in your company. Your boss has asked you to compose a personalized email welcoming these recruits. You feel a bit lazy writing 5 emails, so you create a Python script to generate the content of the email of those new recruits. So I have made a list. Now in the list, I have this names are never unique, of course, everyone except because Sarah, Steve, Bruce, Loki, and Scott. The names are never unique. But whenever you have a data now, you have to identify what is unique for you and what is not unique for you. But what I got to know that Steve and Bruce have the same job and Scott have the same job. They three are Avengers. Loki is anti-hero and Sarah is Agent Level 1, which means their designation is not unique, but their names are unique. So I decided to put their names on the left hand side and their designation on the right hand side. So this is how I made a new dictionary titled as new employees. Now I have used a loop for recruit, which means a variable in new employees.keys. Welcome recruits, thank you for joining Shield as in their designation. So if you will run this code, I will find that it will welcome like welcome Sarah, thank you for joining us, agent level 1, and then so on, everyone. But now let's take an example. What if we want to welcome Avengers and anti-hero in a different style? Because anti-hero is something who is trying to attack you. So you have to print a separate message for the anti-hero as well. So now this is very important part because it will help you to recall all your previous concepts. So now see, you have new employees, the same message, recruits, you have used a dot capitalized. So there is one more thing which we have not discussed it over here, but I will make sure that I will discuss this over here as well. That is string interpolation. So I will make a separate video for it, string interpolation. So you have to see that video as well. Correct name equals to recruit.capitalize. So capitalize is what actually it's doing. It's actually making the letters capital. So Sarah letter S is not capital. But after going to capitalize function, it will the first letter will get capitalized. So when you will run this code now, so you will realize that Avengers are welcome in a different style, anti-heroes are welcome in a different style, and other than anti-heroes and Avengers, there is one more thing, one more profession, that is agent level one, and they have a different style to welcome this. So this is how you integrated dictionary with loops with conditional statements. So this is a kind of a project, a mini project for you. And if you will, you have the documents available, if you will see it, so you will get a clear understanding. Apart from it, you have two challenges. So first, you need to test the above program so you can refer this. You have to write a Python program and make a dictionary of at least 5 idioms. The user will enter the idiom and you have to display the meaning of the idiom with an example. So, and if those idioms doesn't exist in your dictionary, you can display an error or any random message. So you have to make a list of at least 5 idioms. You can do one thing, you can make a dictionary of 4 idioms and then you can add the fifth one. So I hope you know about idioms. So let's take an example. There's a idiom, raining cats and dogs, which means raining heavily. So you have to use such kinds of idioms and then you have to make a dictionary out of it. So that's basically your challenge. So I hope dictionary and list is clear to you, because dictionary and list are the one of the interesting concepts that are in Python programming language. So the more you practice, the more it will be easier for you to write the code.